Hello, friends. Welcome to Learn with Lakshman Dharmaraj. Today, we're going to talk about I Have Three Visions for India. It is a speech by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Along with this, in this semester, you are supposed to study Learning from the West by N.R. Narayan Murthy. You're also supposed to study two short stories, namely A Living God by Patrick Lafcadio Hearn and Search for a Stranger by Gordon Livingston. In poetry section, you are going to study My Mistress's Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun by William Shakespeare and Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Art by John Keats. In grammar, we have to study language learning, that is, word classes, and section B, email correspondence, job application, and writing a curriculum vitae. Before I begin to speak about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, I would request you to subscribe for this channel if you have not done it yet. So, let's get started. The present text is one of the many inspirational speeches delivered by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is the Bharat Ratna awardee and the 11th President of India. He is widely known by various titles such as Missile Man and the People's President of India. Moreover, he was equally renowned for the prophetic and visionary mission to build a strong and developed India. Through his writings and speeches, he has ardently put forth his vision for India, which has also been the mission statement of his life. Dr. Kalam had a great love for and deep trust in the students of India as the carriers and executors of his vision for India. He delivered this speech at Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad on May 25, 2011. In this speech, Dr. Kalam has outlined his vision for India and has also addressed the ways to attain it. Let us have some information about Dr. Kalam. Avul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam, publicly revered as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, was born on October 15, 1931 in Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram is in Tamil Nadu, we all know that. He died at the age of 83 on July 27, 2015 while addressing students in Shillong, Meghalaya. Dr. Kalam began his career as a scientist in the Defense Research and Development Organization, that is called DRDO. Defense Research and Development Organization is called DRDO. Later, he entered the Indian Space Research Organization, that is called ISRO commonly. He entered ISRO or ISRO as project director of the satellite launch vehicle. Satellite launch vehicle is called SLV. He entered as the project director of SLV-3, designed and produced in India for the first time. Dr. Kalam then rejoined DRDO in 1982. There, he played a key role in planning the program that produced a number of successful missiles. It is this phenomenal contribution of Dr. Kalam that earned him the glorious title the Missile Man of India. As a scientist, Dr. Kalam played a leading role in the development of India's missiles and nuclear weapons program. From 1992 to 1997, he was the scientific advisor to the defense minister, and he later served as the principal scientific advisor to the government of India with the rank of a cabinet minister during 1999 to 2001. His prominent role in the country's 1998 nuclear weapon test established Dr. Kalam as a national hero. His immense contribution in making India equipped with space technology and nuclear power resulted in his election as the President of India from 2002 to 2007. In 1998, Dr. Kalam put forth a countrywide plan called Technology Vision 2020, which he described as a roadmap for transforming India. This plan of Dr. Kalam, popularly known as Vision 2020, included increase in agricultural productivity using technology as a vehicle for economic growth and a massive coverage of Indian population in terms of healthcare and education. Dr. Kalam authored several books, including a renowned autobiography, Wings of Fire, which was published in 1999. Among his numerous awards were two of India's highest civilian awards. The first is Padma Vibhushan, awarded to him in 1990, and the Bharat Ratna, awarded to him in 1997. I can't resist the temptation of reading out this whole speech to you because it is not only delightful and charming, but it is also extremely useful for the students studying in various colleges of our country. I would request you to find the speech in original voice of Dr. Abdul Kalam and listen to it, for the real charm and delight lies in his original voice. Let's begin with I have three visions for India. I have three visions for India. In 3000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us, captured our lands, conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Moguls, the Portuguese, the British, the French, the Dutch, all of them came and looted us, took over what was ours. Yet we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, their history, and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of the freedom. I believe that India got its vision in 1857 when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. If we are not free, no one will respect us. My second vision is that for India's development. For 50 years, we have been a developing nation. It is time we see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among top 5 nations of the world in terms of GDP. We have 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized today. Yet we lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation, self-reliant and self-assured. Isn't this incorrect? I have a third vision. India must stand up to the world because I believe that unless India stands up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. We must be strong not only as a military power but also as an economic power. Both must go hand in hand. My good fortune was to have worked with three great minds: Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of the Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan, who succeeded him, and Dr. Brahma Prakash, the father of nuclear material. I was lucky to have worked with all three of them closely and consider this the great opportunity of my life. I see four milestones in my career. I spent 20 years in ISRO. I was given the opportunity to be the project director for India's first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, the one that launched Rohini. These years played a very important role in my life of a scientist. After my ISRO years, I joined DRDO and got a chance to be the part of India's guided missile program. It was my second bliss when Agni met its mission requirement in 1994. The Department of Atomic Energy and DRDO had this tremendous partnership in the recent nuclear test on May 11 and 13. This was the third bliss. The joy of participating with my team in these nuclear tests and proving to the world that India can make it, that we are no longer a developing nation, but one of them. It made me feel very proud as an Indian. The fact that we have now developed for Agni and re-entry structure, for which we have developed this new material, a very light material called carbon. One day, an orthopedic surgeon from Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences visited my laboratory. He lifted the material and found it so light that he took me to his hospital and showed me his patients. There were these little girls and boys with heavy metallic calipers, weighing over 3 kilograms each, dragging their feet around. He said to me, "Please remove the pain of my patients." In 3 weeks, we made these flow reaction orthoses, 300-gram calipers, and took them to the orthopedic center. The children didn't believe their eyes. From dragging around a 3 kg load on their legs, they could now move around. Their parents had tears in their eyes. That was my fourth bliss. Why is media here so negative? Why are we in India so embarrassed to recognize our own strengths, our achievements? We are such a great nation. We have so many amazing success stories, but we refuse to acknowledge them. Why? We are the first in milk production. We are number one in remote sensing satellites. We are the second largest producer of wheat. We are the second largest producer of rice. Look at Dr. Sudarshan. He has transferred the tribal village into self-sustaining, self-driving unit. There are millions of such achievements, but our media is only obsessed in the bad news and failures and disasters. I was in Tel Aviv once and I was reading the Israeli newspaper. It was the day after a lot of attacks and bombardments and deaths had taken place. The Hamas had struck. But the front page of the newspaper had the picture of a Jewish gentleman who, in 5 years, had transformed his desert land into an orchid and a granary. It was this inspiring picture that everyone woke up to. The gory details of killings, bombardments, deaths were inside the newspaper, buried among other news. In India, we only read about death, sickness, terrorism, crime. Why are we so negative? Another question, why are we as a nation so obsessed with foreign things? We want foreign TVs, we want foreign shirts, we want foreign technology. Why this obsession with everything imported? Do we not realize that self-respect comes with self-reliance? I was in Hyderabad giving this lecture when a 14-year-old girl asked me for my autograph. I asked her what her goal in life is. She replied, "I want to live in a developed India." For her, you and I will have to build this developed India. You must proclaim India is not an underdeveloped nation. It is a highly developed nation. Do you have 10 minutes? Allow me to come back with a vengeance. Got 20 minutes for your country? If yes, then read, otherwise choice is yours. You say that our government is inefficient. You say that our laws are too old. You say that the municipality does not pick up the garbage. You say that the phones don't work, the railways are a joke, the airline is the worst in the world, mails never reach their destination. You say that our country has been fed to the dogs and is in the absolute pits. You say, and say. What do you do about it? Take a person on his way to Singapore. Give him a name, yours. Give him a face, yours. You walk out of the airport and you are at your international best. In Singapore, you don't throw cigarette butts on the roads or eat in the stores. You're as proud of their underground links as they are. You pay $5, approximately 60 rupees, to drive through Orchard Road, equivalent of Mahim Causeway or Pedder Road, between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. You come back to the parking lot to punch your parking ticket if you have overstayed in a restaurant or a shopping mall, irrespective of your status identity. In Singapore, you don't say anything, do you? You wouldn't dare to eat in public during Ramadan in Dubai. You would not dare to go out without your head covered in Jeddah. You would not dare to buy an employee of the telephone exchange in London at £10, that is rupees 650 a month, to see to it that my STD and IST calls are billed to someone else. You would not dare to speed beyond 55 miles per hour, that is 88 kilometers per hour in Washington, and then tell the traffic cop, Janta nahi mai kaun hu? Do you know who I am? I am so and so's son. Take your $2 and get lost. You wouldn't chuck an empty coconut shell anywhere other than the garbage pail on the beaches of in Australia and New Zealand. Why don't you spit pan on the streets of Tokyo? Why don't you use examination jockeys or buy fake certificates in Boston? We are still talking of the same you. You who can respect and conform to the foreign system in other countries but cannot in your own. You who will throw peppers and cigarettes on the road the moment you touch Indian ground. If you can be an involved and appreciative citizen in an alien country, why cannot you be the same here in India? Once in an interview, the famous ex municipal commissioner of Bombay had a point to make. Rich people's dogs are walked on the streets to leave their affluent droppings all over the place, he said. And then the same people turn around to criticize and blame the authorities for inefficiency and dirty pavements. What do they expect the officers to do? Go down with broom every time their dog feels the pressure in his balls? In America, every dog owner has to clean up after his pet has done the job. Same in Japan. Will the Indian citizen do that here? He is right. We go to the polls to choose a government and after that forfeit all responsibilities. We sit back wanting to be pampered and expect the government to do everything for us whilst our contribution is totally negative. We expect the government to clean up, but we are not going to stop checking garbage all over the place, nor are we going to stop to pick up a stray piece of paper and throw it in the bin. We expect the railways to provide clean bathrooms, but we are not going to learn the proper use of bathrooms. We want Indian Airlines and Air India to provide the best of food and toiletries, but we are not going to stop pilfering at the least opportunity. This applies even to the staff who is known not to pass on the services to the public. When it comes to burning social issues like those related to women, dowry, girl child, and others, we make loud drawing room protestations and continue to do the reverse at home. Our excuse? It is the whole system which has to change. How will it matter if I alone forego my son's right to a dowry? So who's going to change the system? What does the system consist of? Very conveniently for us, it consists of our neighbors, other householders, other cities, other communities, and the government. But definitely not me and you. When it comes to us actually making a positive contribution to the system, we lock ourselves along with our families into a safe cocoon and look into the distance at countries far away and wait for Mr. Clean to come along and work miracles for us with a majestic sweep of his hand, or we leave the country and run away. Like lazy cowards hounded by our fears, we run to America to bask in the glory and praise their system. When New York becomes insecure, we run to England. When England experiences unemployment, we take the next flight out to the Gulf. When Gulf is war struck, we demand to be rescued and brought home by Indian government. Everybody is out to abuse and rape the country. Nobody thinks of feeding the system. Our conscience is mortgaged to money. Dear Indians, I am echoing JF Kennedy's words to his fellow Americans to relate to Indians. Ask what we can do for India and do what has to be done to make India what America and other Western countries are today. Let us do what India needs from us. Here, Dr. Kalam's speech comes to an end. We'll talk about the difficult words in this text and also discuss several themes in the text in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hit the like button if you have liked Dr. Kalam's speech addressed to all the Indians.